Hello, everyone. Welcome to Co-working. It is time to clock in because today is the first Monday of the month, which means it's our board meeting. So for our board meeting today, we have an agenda. We're going to get into our biggest mistake that we made last month. So we're going to be recapping January. We're going to get into numbers. We're going to talk about some of the trends that we've been seeing on our social media and our blogs. We're going to get into our content plan for February, but not just what we're doing, content trends and topics and themes that you need to start thinking about promoting in the month of February, but also preparing for the months ahead. So if you are ready to get your social media, get your blog, get your online presence together, again, clock in. We are going to work. Let us know in the comments any questions or thoughts you might have. We will also be doing a bit of a Q&A with you today. But let's get into it real quick. I mean, Fran, what was your biggest mistake, you would say, in January?
Several, actually. So the first one was right at the beginning from planning. So when I planned out the content for January, I kind of planned out the whole quarter, but for sure, January, I over planned. And I thought I was already paring down, like I was already being, you know, that was good, because I always overdo it. I feel like, and this is something we both do all the time, we create. Like there's so much content, and then we don't have enough time or place or any of that, or even just like bandwidth to promote all of it. And I thought I had already, reduced the quantity so much. And I just have to be aware of where I'm at with seasons. Winter being one and start of the year, but also, life and outside factors. And we got to leave some wiggle room for that. And I definitely didn't do that. I didn't listen to what I should have, I should have stripped it bare, and I didn't strip it bare enough, basically. So I ended up having to push back some little mini email series that I was going to do in January. Those are now pushed for February. I think in terms of adapting to mistakes that you make, that was my biggest thing. I would normally just push through it. And I feel like it was easier for me with some of the mentality of what we went through with the Fix Your Brand Challenge. When something is like, you have to have your boundaries. And when something is now pushing on those boundaries, you need to move on, let it go, whatever. So what I ended up doing with that is like, well, I told the peoples that this mini series is going to start middle of January. It is now going to start middle of February, and that is fine. So I did push that. And in terms of other things, I did let go social media a bit. I started off okay. And by middle of the month, it was just a ghost town. I've basically been absent for like 2 weeks at least. So the only thing I really was good at keeping up with was there were blog posts. I did send out emails, and I did post on YouTube. YouTube is doing well. We'll get into the ways. But social media was definitely a no.
You know what is funny? This is so funny, y'all. I sent Fran a text and I said, this is the agenda. We're going to talk about all mistakes. We're going to talk about numbers, and then we're going to get into the strategy. But we did not compare notes. No. So it's so funny to kind of hear this, because my biggest mistake was over planning as well. I think as we got to the end of last year, and I got so excited because things was just kind of coming together. Things were working. I got like just a good jolt of energy at the end of the year in terms of, okay, getting off a Substack, which was a big thing. I saw the clicks and traffic going up, and the engagement, the interaction, and just everything with my email list, because I went back to a traditional email service provider. I got super excited. Like Francesca, I had multiple like email series I wanted to launch, and challenges and projects, and I just had to pull the brakes. So I did one challenge that is alive and well that I had scheduled, and a few other things. But I think I dropped the ball where YouTube was concerned, but also the blog. Social media, I was present, okay? I was so consistent on Instagram. The numbers were numbering. I was very happy with social media as a traffic driver. So that was a big win for me. I even just posted a reel, and that reel over indexed my other reels because carousels were really working for me. So I showed up for social. I kind of think we are opposites, like we're a mirror right now, because I was in these Instagram streets. Okay. I'm getting back into YouTube now, which is amazing. We'll talk more about that when we get into numbers. My newsletter never misses. The clicks are clicking. I feel like everything that we stripped down, everything we did with the Fix Your Brand Challenge, everything that it did to kind of give me structure and focus, which I need structure. That's my personality type. Like I need to know what I'm doing throughout the step of the day. Whether I do it or not, that's a separate story. But yes, I would say I overplanned. Long story short, I overplanned. And I have moved some stuff to end of February, actually going into early March. So right now, I think as we go into February, I'm just focusing on getting the foundation right. But I get so excited. I get so excited. But you let us know in the comments, what was your biggest fail in January? What is one thing you planned and you thought that, okay, I'm going in the year strong, but the year had other plans. The year had other plans. January.
It's been 6 months.
Y'all don't do that. Listen, my birthday is in January. Fran is in January too. But I always used to just hate how people hate on January, saying it's been 10 whole years and all these things. To me,
it felt like it. It felt like it.
It felt like it. But can I be real and say, when I saw January 30th, I almost lost it. I meant like, we've already gone through one month. I had like a little mini panic for a couple seconds of there. So for me, it wasn't long enough. So I know people are out here fighting, saying January was too long. I think I wanted more time to get my foundation right.
Yeah. In terms of like getting stuff done, for sure, it was not long enough because I also didn't, obviously, I even deleted things because I'm like, well, now it's too late. This is next year's problem. Yeah. But also I feel like, and maybe you feel like this too, going through the Fix Your Brand Challenge, it feels like you have so many ideas and you now know all these things that you need to be doing. There's an overabundance of content. Oops, sorry. 100%. There's an overabundance of content and you're so excited to post all of this content. And I'm like, how is that possible that now it's like, I don't have the bandwidth to execute, basically, is what it boils down to.
No.
And also give yourself grace, because I feel like that was the biggest thing that I did do, especially the past couple of weeks, is I didn't push myself, just because I feel like, what is the point of doing that? Like, what is the point of pushing yourself when, I put do not disturb and these calls keep coming in. How is that possible?
It's okay. Let's see what the chat is saying. Basis Transformations. Good morning. Thank you for the structure. Always. We try to come with a plan. We come with a plan each live. So whether we're just working, silent working, which we'll be doing for the next 3 weeks ahead. Yes, we always try to come with a plan. Hey, Tiff. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hi.
Happy Monday. Happy first Monday in February, everyone. New week, new month, new
short month
for all of us. And yes, it's a
short month. I am stressing already.
Yes. Almost retired abroad. Listen, I love that username. Can we manifest this?
Yes, I am manifesting.
Manifesting. Almost retired abroad said same. January went by so fast. Listen, I know people hate on January, but my theory has always been, once January comes to a close, it's like, the year is off to the races, for sure. Basis Transformation also says, I've taken advantage of hibernation and really gotten a lot accomplished. I'm working on a local business directory and it's coming out amazing.
I love that. That's exciting.
Yes. You know what? We should talk about this in a co-working session, because I have thoughts about those directories. I worked on one, I would say 10 years ago. Yeah, that when done right can be amazing. So I'm like low-key excited already. This is good. Yes, almost retired abroad. We're manifesting over here.
We're manifesting it for all of us. Well,
all of us. Every single one of us. 100%. But those, I would say, are like some of the biggest mistakes this month. Is just, I think it's the exuberance of the new year, but that normally doesn't catch me. I think it's because we made so many changes closing out the end of the year, and then I saw it working. That's what gave me exuberance. So it wasn't so much the new year. It was the transitions. It was the leaving the Substack, demonetizing, and we have videos on all of this. So you can go back to the channel and hear our journey. But we want to get into the numbers, real numbers about our traffic, real numbers about our money. What was January looking like for you? Well, also the end of last year. Did we talk about the end of last year? But let's touch on that, closing out the year.
I think the last time we just talked about the year as a whole, as opposed to like December.
Right.
So in terms of blog traffic, I will say December last year was a little bit different than usual December, because I feel like there's a huge spike normally. And yeah, there was a spike, sure. But I don't think it was as dramatic as previous years. I don't know if you felt the same, but I feel like it was more like a trickle, of increase. Now, January came around and there was definitely a drop. Don't panic. That is normal. I intentionally did not look at blog numbers that much. I would only look at specific things. So for example, I had a win on Facebook. I had a post that did really well. It got 200,000 views over there. And I wanted to then see what was the actual traffic to the blog, what was the conversion, because I did have an optional email segment sign up on that, and what was, the conversion to that, which all of those were excellent wins. So I definitely tracked some of it, but I didn't want to look at the big numbers just because I knew it was going to be drastic. Like you're going from a high to crash.
Yeah. So if you're seeing that right now with your blog, don't panic. If you're seeing that with your social media, also don't panic. At the end of the year, you do have that traffic spike. I definitely benefited from that, but year over year, it wasn't, as dramatically high. Also, or RPMs are higher at the end of the year. So going into the new year, in the past, I would see it kind of hold until around like February, March. I just felt like advertisers were like, nope, we are out. So that also had a decline as well.
In fact, they were out. I had, we did the annual wrap-up meeting, whatever, with Mediavine, and that was a big thing. Advertisers were not buying ads at the beginning of what would be like the Super Bowl season. They were holding their money. And maybe they were thinking like, okay, so when we get to like December, they're going to really, push through a lot of that money because it's been sitting in the budget. And they still didn't see that like massive dump of ad buy-in. So yeah, I think definitely people are holding on to their money a little tighter for sure.
Yeah, and Raptive, because the good thing about the both of us is that you're getting from two different ad networks. Fran is on Mediavine, I'm on Raptive. Raptive was kind of saying the same thing in that it's the high buying season was later, than it normally was. So I did notice that as a content creator myself in terms of my payout. I also noticed the pulling back soon as possible. I think there's a lot of uncertainty, which is also why we have been making changes to how we're creating content, how we're monetizing content, and how we're interacting with our audience and, kind of building that brand in this time, because it is for that reason. Advertisers, here's the thing. I always say to people, like, we want to make money, right? But if we want to make money, we have to also pay attention to the people who are spending said money on us. So for the people who want the brand deals, for the people who are on ad networks, for the people who are looking for collaborations, you also have to pay attention to them and how they are reacting. And right now, I think they are reacting to the market. They're reacting to the economy. And the economy just isn't economying right now. Inflation is high. People are feeling it when they go to the supermarket, when they're paying their bills. So that is part of the reason why we demonetize, because we're like, listen, if I'm feeling it at the supermarket, why do I think I'm special that I deserve this subscription, from this person? Why should they spend money on me and a dozen other content creators that they might know and love? So it's kind of like removing that barrier. It's the same thing. Why should advertisers spend all this money on ad networks when they feel like, okay, people aren't spending as much themselves, or they're just not getting the ROI that they used to get? So I think it's important when we are content creators to kind of look at both sides of the coin, not just the side that we are on, even though we do have bills to pay. And, I am always talking about, listen, I got bills to pay. I need to make money. This isn't fun for me. But I also need to be a realist as well. As it relates to my traffic and numbers, it really kind of mirrors Francesca. However, the big difference for me is Instagram. Instagram has become a huge traffic driver to my blog. It really has. It's all thanks to DM automation. I'm planning in February to kind of spread that across the board more, but Instagram was where I was investing my time. And so high return there. Of course, I don't count the money from the Instagram Creator Fund. Listen, can it buy me coffee? Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, it's coffee money. I'm going to keep it 100. I'm looking for supermarket money. I want to buy my groceries at the end of the week. I want to pay a bill at the end of the week. And if it can cover rent and a car payment and some insurance, that's great. But for right now, Instagram Content Creator Fund is just the coffee money. My big check comes from Raptive and any other partnerships that I do separate and aside. So,
I will say Facebook Creator Fund does pay way better than what you would get on Instagram. So, for example, that one post that did 200,000 views, I got almost $50 from that one post. So you're not going to get that with 200,000 views on a post on Instagram. You're getting a lot more peanuts. So I definitely think if you are looking at that, Facebook might be a place to kind of like explore and test out your content. A couple of tips as far as wins of things that I saw doing well on Facebook is make sure that you are writing something in your captions, that it's not like 3 lines and whatever. Write like 200 to 400 word captions in your Facebook posts. I think that whenever you do that, it does better. Like even that one that I said did well, it even had a link in the caption, which it's like the big no to do, but I did write a lot in it. And I think that's probably what connects a lot more and why it gets pushed more. At the end of the day, the platforms want to keep people on the platforms. But I do think that right now, Facebook is lacking good content because there's a lot of AI generated content. There's a lot of junk in there. And I think that if creators are putting out really good, thoughtful content that can connect with people, I think that you'll probably do well. And it's actually funny because the Mediavine had this big event this past month, and they sent the replays of that. And there was a blogger in there that was talking about their website, which is massively successful. And one of the biggest traffic drivers for them was Facebook. And he was basically saying like they're over here posting 20 times a day. And they have so much engagement on all of their posts and so many comments, like they can't, it's beyond the point where they could answer to comments and any of that. So it's actually, I think that it's kind of like a Trojan horse in my opinion. So I do think that is something that I am going to invest more time in. Yeah. Another thing I will say in terms of wins was, because we're still kind of like in that, YouTube was a win for me this January. I had videos, pretty much every video did what I would consider decent for my channel. I had my first request for a sponsored, what do you call that? Like sponsorship or whatever. So that video's going up soon on the channel, but like, that I didn't go looking for it because I didn't think I was at that place yet with the channel, but obviously the eyeballs are there and the request came in and I was like, absolutely. It aligns with the brand because I think that is also important. And so I think that was also another good little win for the month. So that's exciting. And I have fun plans for YouTube for the months ahead. So
I'm excited to see where you go with YouTube. I've been experimenting there as well. Just to kind of piggyback on the YouTube conversation, I think it's the best place to build community, which is a big priority for me this year. There are 2 big words in my head. It's brand and it's community. It's to get people talking, have people in conversations with me, but also amongst themselves. And I think YouTube is a great place for that. I'm experimenting there. I don't have anything to report now, but hopefully I will in the next month or two. But I also wanted to compare finances, because Francesca had mentioned the post on Facebook that did well. I had a post on Instagram that I was pulling up because I wanted to give you guys like a side-by-side on that. So I had a post that got 222,420 views total. So the approximate bonus earnings, according to Instagram, because I'm in the Instagram backend dashboard, that was $22.80. So when I tell you again, that's like my Starbucks money, you know what I'm saying? And this isn't every post. This is just,
which is exactly what I was saying. Like, it's about the same views and Facebook will give you double the money. So
that's an example. Yes. So basically, they're both Meta products, but I just wanted to give you all, the side by side. So there you have that. So that's Facebook, that's Instagram.
I think the difference in terms of like how Meta looks at it probably is the fact that there is a lot of good content already on Instagram. They're not lacking for content, and Facebook is lacking for content because so many creators that used to be on Facebook, they left a long time ago only because the reach was garbage.
Yes.
So it was really difficult to get anyone to look at your stuff. And even, I mean, I had my Facebook page in the OG days, like, when it was still good and I was still getting a lot of reach, and then we saw it tank. And basically I kind of like, I post once in a while, but I don't do too much with it because like you would post and like 50 people would see it, even you have, thousands following you. So I have seen a difference when I started posting again. And again, this is the algorithm being like, oh my God, you came out of the grave literally. Mm-hmm. And I am getting a lot of traction with pretty much every post, and I'm experimenting, posting, link in the captions, link in the first comment. Also, the grocers list has the integration so that it's kind of like a comment. So hopefully that gives a little more, I guess, options for people, maybe more engagement. So I think that that's probably a good place. Like, just check it out, see what you can put there.
That's what I'm just going to say. The bottom line is this is our results. Ultimately, you still have to play around with the platforms and see what works for you. Right now, Instagram.
Also look at your RPM. Sorry. Just because, I mean, obviously, if you're already monetized on an ad network, because I will mention also a difference between Raptive and Mediavine is the fact that the RPM for traffic coming from Facebook is the highest RPM that I have. And coming from YouTube would be the second highest. And then from there, it goes down Google traffic and all of these things. Instagram traffic for Mediavine is the lowest versus with Victoria, Instagram traffic is the highest. So I think you should also focus on where you're making most of your money. So if you're not making most of your money on Facebook, then that should be lower in your priority. For me, it's higher in my priority.
Play around is the moral of the story. Yes. If you have a blog, look at your analytics, see where the traffic is, where your traffic is coming from, but also where will pay you the most, so double down on there. Maybe if you're not interested in creating content there, again, that is fine. Look at yourself and your strengths. Again, these are just our numbers and our results. So for me, January, the blog traffic dipped, which is normally after the holidays. Yeah. Instagram has been driving a lot of traffic for me. And yes, my RPMs for Instagram is higher. I'm on Raptive. I also think it has to do with your blog's niche as well. So I don't think it's just standard across the board. And what else? YouTube, I'm experimenting. Facebook, I would love to add for February, amongst, a few other things. So let us know in the comments, like, what have you noticed in January? Have you been experimenting with anything? Let us know. Also, if you have any questions, guys, if you have any questions, pop them in the comments so that, we can see what is important to you. Remember, this is our co-working session. We are co-working together. We're sharing information. We want to hear from you as well. And if there's something we're saying that's unclear, we'd love to hear again. Tiff is saying, I'm not even sure what social media platforms I even need to be on because I never know where my audience is. I'm essentially a book influencer like you too, but I still don't know. My thing is this. On that comment, let me keep that comment up. On that comment, step one, I would always say for anyone when you're playing around is spend some time getting to know yourself and what platform you like creating for. Because I'm going to keep it real with y'all. It doesn't matter to me. Facebook, I have a mental hurdle I still need to cross. And I realize that within myself. I did personal interrogation and I was like, you know what? I don't like how Facebook feels. For me, when I show up on Instagram, it is easier for me to create content, which is why I've been consistent. I'm in week 7 of posting Monday to Friday, twice a day, Monday to Friday. One is vibes, one is a link driver. Sometimes I just have a vibes post because I'm tired. But the point is, I've just been showing up consistently. I take weekends off. It has been working for me. I never liked creating content on TikTok. I didn't. I learned YouTube. So I would say to anyone right now is spend some time being honest with yourself, getting to know you and what content is easier to create, not where you think the traffic is and not where you think all these other things. Because if you can't replicate it consistently, you're going to have a problem, you know? Yeah. So
also, I think it's important, especially at the beginning, is that you are not everywhere. Because if you try to put too much on your plate, that's also going to give you burnout. Like you're not going to be able to continue on. So focus on one thing and do that thing consistently, which should be obviously like your blog or where you're writing your long form, whichever is your long form place of choice. And that then you can add one little extra thing to it. But take your time with that so that you are not overwhelming yourself.
Yeah. And I also, because Tiff also said, also Instagram intimidates me because it's aesthetic focus and I have such an ugly lifestyle. See, that is the problem right there. It's the mindset. I actually think people want to see more real. I was very uncomfortable when we started doing videos. And again, it's in the brain, right? Where I'm like, I don't have an aesthetic, setup or whatever. I moved, now when I do the math, this summer is going to be 2 years. Our main focus was just moving into this place. We didn't care about like fixing up, setting up. And I will see other content creators and be like, oh, that is so cute. And it seems they said, I don't have that. My lighting is never right. Sometimes the sound is a mess. And sometimes it's very minimal, but that is okay because that is your reality. And I'm going to add one thing to that as well. People love a glow up. People love a glow up. People love to see where you started. When they say started from the bottom, now we're here. Listen, people love a glow up. Facts. Yeah. People love to see a transformation. So share what is your reality. Don't wait for where you think you need to be before you start sharing, because that in itself, I think, is a problem. Everything I post on Instagram now is a snap with my phone, and I use the damn stories thing to put my text over. Nothing. I don't even go on Canva. And yes, I have a Canva account. So keep it simple. Just post. Don't question yourself. Just put it out there. Let the content live, and people see the glow up.
Yeah, and I think also people like to be on that journey with you.
Yes.
So I think Instagram does lead you to believe that you have to be a certain way, but I think that there is also a lot of room for people just being raw, unfiltered, natural. I think that there's a lot of room for that too.
Yes. And I'm going to go on record and say the trend this year, but also going into the future, I think it's going to pick up, is actually the non-aesthetic trend. It's going to be the messy trend, the real trend, because clean and curated, listen, has been running the algorithms, I would say, for the past 10 years, maybe more. Now I think it's the messy and the real and the not filtered and the not curated. So just trust me. Just post the things.
Yeah.
Wanjiru, hey, I think you were at live. Yes. Okay. Yes. So Wanjiru says, Journey by Mediavine RPMs are dismal. I want to apply to Raptive within the next 3 months. I've met the page views thresholds for a couple of months now. Listen, that works. Before I joined Raptive, I had met the threshold for like 6 months, but again, mental blocks. I didn't think I was ready or I should be there. And I was also questioning the ads, if I'm going to be honest, because I was so focused on aesthetics instead of getting a check. How crazy is that? How crazy. Me, the girl who's always like, direct deposits are my love language. And I was hesitant to join the platform. So trust me, I get it. Just when it feels right, make the leap. I will
also, I mean, if you're eligible, just apply, because one thing with Journey specifically, because I was on Journey before I upgraded up to the regular Mediavine platform, you have no control over your ads. So like, you're not able to select things that you don't want shown on your website, which, let me tell you, that caused problems for me. And I lost long-time followers because of the ads they were shown, which, I mean, again, the ads that they're being shown is in base of what they're browsing and their history, but people don't understand that. And definitely that was a problem. So I learned the hard way that there's no way for you to control anything on Journey. So if you can escape Journey in any way, shape, or form, and I don't know if you mean Raptive as in like their Thrive, I think it's Thrive, right? The starter Raptive, or is it the main Raptive network? I can't remember.
It's Rise. Raptive Rise is the starter.
So I don't know if you mean Rise or the regular Raptive. I don't know if they have the controls on Rise, because that I haven't explored. But wherever you can go where you can have control of what ads are shown on your site, that would be my recommendation for your next step.
100%.
You need that. You need that.
I was just gonna say, I'm team control. I love Raptive. I'm on the main Raptive page. I can control the kinds of ads, the topics, and so on. So yeah, that was actually very helpful. You can also control your ad density, amongst other things, and the kinds of ads. Of course, they'll advise you and say, hey, you get paid more for this, but you can also do that as well. Wanderoo, they lowered it to 25,000 for AI creators. Thanks for the advice. That's all wrap. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Okay.
So definitely just leave Journey as soon as you can. It's great. It's a great starter. I mean, I think it's great for getting your feet wet with ads, and as you're growing and getting your expenses paid, I think it's excellent.
Yeah.
But definitely the fact that you have no controls over you have a little bit of control on density, but not really. And then the biggest thing is what ads are showing. So yeah, absolutely.
All right, again, keep your questions, keep your comments coming, but we are going to jump into hold on, this is still up. Okay, all creators. Yeah, I figured. We're going to jump into, in the board meeting, hold on, why is my notes looking a mess? Oh, you know what it was doing? It was on auto dictate. So I had squeezed the button. So it was like recording, because I'm like, oh, Raptive Rise.
Recording everything you're saying.
Yes. I'm just like, okay, how do I undo this? Anyway, because I don't want to lose my things. So we're going to get into, the plan for February. We're also going to share some things that you should have on your radar as you are creating content. Okay, so I have a content calendar on my phone, okay? So for February, so we're gonna tell you trends, content ideas, and things you should have on your radar for the month of February. Then we're gonna share with you our plans for our content in February. So things you need to know. February 26th, Content Planner, top search trends. Now, this is from last year, obviously, because, we don't have a crystal ball. We can't see in the future. But based on historical information, food and recipes are always big. If you are in that space, or if you share that content on the side, get into it. Super Bowl recipes, because here in the United States, we have the Super Bowl coming up. It is next Sunday, but depending on when you're watching this, let me get the calendar. It's on the 8th. So Super Bowl recipes are huge, including chicken wings, sliders, nachos. But also, if you're not into football, Valentine's Day, it's the 14th, Galentine's Day, the 13th. That whole weekend is a big thing. So dinner and dessert ideas, dessert boards, if that is in your interest. People are always looking for dip recipes, high fiber foods, and heart healthy recipes. So that's the food and recipes section if that is part of your content. But also in February, what is also big is wellness, habits, and self-care. So if you are in that space, we want to see more of that content as well. So heart health, including walking and step challenges, low impact workouts, and stress management tips. But then if you are in the home, money, financial planning, or anything of that like, in February, that's big. Of course, tax preparation. Because in the United States, which is where we are based, so we're speaking through that lens, tax season is in full swing. Corporate taxes are due in March, personal taxes are due in April. So all that tax content is just, it's being talked about, money organizing, budgeting, just anything financial right now is front and center. Also, there are lots of no spending and saving challenges as trends. So those are just some things for you, to kind of keep in mind as it relates to searches. However, also pay attention to what is happening socially and on the calendar as well. So we have monthly observances. In February, Black History Month. It's also American Heart Month, Cancer Prevention Month, Snack Food Month, Embroidery Month, Hot Breakfast Month, Time Management Month, and Dog Training Education. So these are all these monthly observances. So if you hear something that you are knowledgeable in or you have content, there's that. There's lots of social media holidays, okay? Galentine's, like I said earlier. So separately, any other Galentine's related thing, it might not be food related, it might be activity related things, just Galentine's. Margarita Day is the 22nd of February. Pokemon Day is the 27th. Pizza Day is the 9th. Pay attention to these social media opportunities. And as you're looking at these social media holidays, think affiliates as well. Because again, now is a great time to be pushing those affiliate links, because affiliate opportunities can be Super Bowl hosting. So any physical thing around that, Galentine's, hosting things, the heart health things, exercise things, all the things. Pay attention to the monthly observances, throw some affiliate links to that. Now, the final note of things that, I want to tell you about to pay attention to as well is that when you are in content creation and in blogging, because we have a whole video talking about why we feel like Instagram is also acting like a blog right now, but I'm seeing it across social media, which is the algorithm is no longer the people in your orbit, it's the topics you're interested as well. So just remember, these things will surface up when people are interested and looking for things. So the key is you need to have your content out there and ready. So when people are ready for it, you are there. So with that in mind, we have things that we promote during February. There are things that we update for the future in February. And then there are things we plan for the future also in February. So I'm going to go down those three categories. What to promote? If you have Winter Olympics content right now, you need to get into it. Promote the Winter Olympics thing. Valentine's and Galentine's, like I said. If you have Mardi Gras content, Carnival content, now is the time. Super Bowl ideas, like I said, Chinese New Year, which is coming up, President Day sales. So if you have affiliates and things you're selling, those are the things we are promoting. Now, we are also future looking. So these are the things you need to update. St. Patrick's Day content, Easter content, because Easter's around the corner, y'all. And tax day content, like we said, corporate taxes are in March, personal taxes in April. And then we are now planning for the future. So those are the things you have to update that you have existing, because if you don't have it existing, maybe you can rush and put something together, but you need to update that for the future. But then now we're even looking further ahead, because content needs to cook. Content needs to cook. The algorithm needs to understand whether it's Google, social media, anywhere, the content needs to cook. So in February, we need to start planning. So these are the things you need to plan for. You need to start planning for Cinco de Mayo content. Yeah, we're all the way 3 months out. Cinco de Mayo content, we need to start planning Mother's Day content. And we also need to start planning Memorial Day content. So those are the things I want you to just have in the back of your mind. Don't get overwhelmed. Just know that, okay, do I want to do something for Mother's Day? Okay, yeah, what do I want to do? And kind of start planning and getting ready to execute. But in real time, you need to be promoting the things we talked about: the Olympics, the Valentine's, the Galentine's, the Mardi Gras, the Super Bowl. Chinese New Year, President's Day. That is real time promoting, but your brain also needs to be planning as well. So those are just some things to put on your calendar, to put on your radar. If there's anything that sounds like, yeah, I want to create content around that, do that. Or if you want to use that, if you want to use the holidays to leverage other content, because you can repackage and sell, that will work for you as well. So yeah, those are just some things generally speaking. But I would love to hear from Francesca. What is on your personal February content creation plan?
So actually for me, besides, updating, a lot of updating, there's the only new content that I am looking at is anything that is kind of like related to the month. And besides that, the content that I need to finish making so that I can send out that email segment that I didn't send out in January. But other than that, I think what I want to be focusing on, and it's something that I've been neglecting for a while, and I keep saying I need to do it. I want to sit down and really strategize the video player from the ad network on my site, because that will be a big thing to increase my revenue from the ad network. And that was actually a big thing from Mediavine when we had the annual meeting. So that is something that I've neglected. I need to think a little bit of a strategy on what kind of content I need to create for that, and just put up those videos there so that I can have that set. Once I have that set, I'll be good. I do have a project that I was hoping to start in February, but it might be a March project because, realistically, I am not out of my funk yet. But I want to actually do a deep dive on my Google Analytics and look at the posts that have lost ranking in the past 90 days that used to rank and they have kind of dropped, and also look at the posts that are close to ranking and go in and update that content. So that will be kind of like where I'm focusing on. So there's going to be a lot of updating content. I think February is probably not going to be huge on new content. I could be wrong. Only as it relates to whatever email segments I need to send out, like that kind of stuff. That's going to be, if anything new needs to go up, that'll probably be it.
Yeah. I think for me on my side, February, and I'm going to dare say March, is going to be all about updating. I am going to spend some time looking at the seasonal content that I need to update and promote. So I think that's going to be a big thing for me in February, but I already know mentally I'm rolling that over into March. So it's updating existing content and promoting it, because when I look back at my content creation journey, especially over the past 6 years specifically, I was creating a lot of content. I wasn't promoting nearly half of it. So I'm going to be taking advantage of, throwback trends and this and that. And, oh, hey, this is what, I was doing this year, that year, and so on. I know lots of us saw the 2016 trend, which I partaked in as well. But I'm going to make that more a regular kind of fixture in a way, is sharing some of those old contents. It's like, then and now, and really kind of digging in that way. So I think that's going to be the main focus. Updating, repurposing, and promoting new content. The only new content I will be doing is YouTube. I am experimenting on YouTube. I'm experimenting with at-home vlogs, everyone. So no, I ain't leaving my house. No, that is not the case, but I am experimenting with that.
It doesn't have to be aesthetic or pretty.
And it's not aesthetic. Because the first one I posted, y'all, not only was the lighting bad, which I can deal with, because I decided, I have lights on in here. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But I wasn't gonna do that for the vlog, Right. So for me, I made peace with that. The thing I was really upset about was the audio, because I was just using the camera built-in mic. I didn't even attach the external mic to it because I forgot. And I also didn't have my little Bluetooth mic, because I do have that, even though I do prefer this stationary one because I hate holding things. But so my main goal is we're going to do it again, and we're going to have better audio. I don't care if the video isn't great. So that's what I'm trying to say. Even when we're talking to Tiff earlier, but just for any of you watching, it's not about perfection. Post that ugly thing, because you won't know, you won't learn, and you never might know. People might resonate with that stuff, and they're like, "Girl, it's fine." So my big goal for February is YouTube, because I'm experimenting there. My newsletter segments, I've been having fun in January, looking to stay consistent in February. And I was going to say one more thing to you all. Oh, I want to add Facebook. I want to add Facebook. Facebook is a mental block for me. I know that. I just, in a weird way, it's almost like I'm trying to say I don't see the value in Facebook, or I don't like Facebook, or I just haven't found my people on Facebook. So now I'm trying to reframe it and just say, you haven't found your people on Facebook yet, but how can you expect to find your people when you haven't been showing up consistently there? So February will be Facebook and updating. Yeah, I think that's it. But let us know in the comments, what are your February content plans? What's one thing you want to focus on? Just one, because I think sometimes if you just focus on that one thing, you know, it will become progress over time. So yeah, share your plans in the comments, in the live chat, but also if you have any more questions, because we are here for another 15 minutes almost. So just pop in anything last minute that you'd like to know. How do you feel about the content calendar that we shared as well? Is there anything on that calendar sounding like you might be creating content around that? Yeah, let us know as well. I think I'm going to let Valentine's pass for me this year. I mean, I do have existing content, but
I'm only going to be promoting my existing content. Like that's going to be a social. Actually, also, I wanted to mention, as much as we're saying we're focusing on YouTube, but also something that I'm going to do more of in February is kind of like using the community tab almost as I use Facebook. So I want to be showing up in the community tab, dropping in the links to blog posts, creating polls, getting more engaged with the community there. So that is also something that I will be doing when it comes to YouTube in February. And the last thing that I didn't mention, but I do have now a community, and I do want to show up more in the community. So in February, I did put out all the little notices for the month. We're going to do a watch party, which has nothing to do really with what we're doing in the group, but kind of like just to get people together, talking about something that we're all watching together, and maybe some crafts together and things like that. So I think that will be things that build community. So that will be another focus for me for February.
Yeah, I think, you know what, the Fix Your Brand Challenge, against shameless plug, if you're new here, go check that out. But what it allowed me to do in a weird way is it gave me permission to talk about different things. Yeah. So I've been talking about a little bit of everything, and that I've realized inherently was like a built-in community magnet, because people are like, oh, you're interested in that too, you watch this too, you talk about this too. So also don't be too nichey, if that makes sense. So add different layers to your content, not just the one thing you talk about. So if you talk about travel, okay, cool, but also what food do you eat? You know, what do you wear? When you have downtime, what do you do? And it's not always like go, if that makes sense. It's just really layer on different things. Okay, quick check in the chat. Wanjiru, love the content calendar ideas. I don't really post on social media, but I think I'll write to my email list about Galentine's. But I find it difficult to email consistently. Why do you find it difficult to email consistently? I actually think email is my strong suit. That is the one thing I have been super consistent with over the past 6 years. I send my emails on a Friday. My main email, never missed a Friday. Never missed a Friday. I live in Florida, so even if a hurricane is passing through, that email is good and ready to go. And now I have segments. So I'm sending 6 additional emails every month, plus the every Friday one. So that would make 10 emails every month. And then I also have like a challenge ongoing that sends 2 emails every month. So where are we at? 12. What else is going on? And any other thing I layer obviously will have an email component. But let me know, what is your email block? Yes. Why aren't you consistent? Because we can work through this. We can work through this.
Because email is so important to connect with your audience. 100%. Like that is so important. But also at the same time, I want you to think about there is value in some social media. I think that right now you do need to be on social media, because if you're not, then that means you're only relying on getting eyeballs from either, I'm assuming, Google traffic or Pinterest if you're doing that. So I think that is probably not going to stay consistent moving forward. So I would pick one thing to
Okay,
add.
I love this. Wanjuru says, I just imagine people seeing my email and unsubscribing. Okay, can I tell you a strategy? Hold on. Can I tell you a strategy? You know what the biggest thing on my whole email list is? Manage preferences or unsubscribe. Like, if you don't want to be here, I don't want you here.
Yep.
Like, that is the biggest font. And I do it on purpose. Even like if you sign up for a freebie for one of our freebies, if you sign up, and we don't sell anything over here. So technically everything is free, but you know, the language is freebie, right? If you sign up for the Fix Your Brand Challenge and you want to get our guide, let me put the thing. Do I still have it up on here? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Here it is. All right. So that is, wait, remove.
That is nice.
I was like, wait, what? What? There we go. Okay. If you want our Fix Your Brand challenge worksheet, okay, you have to sign up for our email. So when you sign up for our email and you click the thing and you download it, I promise you, if you scroll, you'll see unsubscribe big and bold. The reason I say this is you actually want people to unsubscribe. Yep. You actually want people to unsubscribe. And this is, I consider myself the email person just because, again, I've been so consistent for over 6 years. And you don't want people on your email list who aren't going to open your emails. I actually recommend purging people every 3 months who have not opened anything. You can do one last touch base. Hey, do you guys want to be here kind of vibes? And if they don't open, if they don't interact, just get them off the list. Unsubscribing is actually very healthy. You don't want a big list. For example, let's think big. You don't want 100,000 email subscribers, but you only have 5%, 10% opening it. I would rather have a small list and have 80% open that, or 40% open that. Because that is something I'm also very proud of, is having a ridiculously high open rate above industry standards. Because if you don't want to be here, I make it easy for you to leave. I also say, hey, if you just wanted this free thing, but you don't want an email every week, unsubscribe, please. Like, I am begging you to unsubscribe. And also, finally, in an age where email service providers hold people hostage based on your subscribers, that's the last thing you need, is people who don't even want to be here. So,
Yeah, that is just a mental hurdle to get over. I used to have that too. Like, it's almost like every number that you add to the email list, it's like, oh, you just want them to stay there forever. But at the end of the day, if they're not opening the emails, then what's the point of them being there? I would rather them going.
Oh, and one more thing. Don't you unsubscribe from things too? I know I do. So I will unsubscribe. See, this is the thing.
I have unsubscribed from people that I do like, only because of like email overwhelm. And that doesn't mean I am not still paying attention on social media or something. So I think that, and I might subscribe again. So
see what I'm saying?
Don't be afraid of the unsubscribe. It's a good thing.
It's a great thing. It's a great thing. But also, when we create content, think about ourselves. It's kind of like when we said we demonetize, and why we demonetize. If we are unsubscribing, we have too many email service providers. We have too many email service providers. No, like TV, streaming providers. Yeah. We have too many food things, whatever. You go through your bank statements, you go through your phone. You're like, nope, I don't need this anymore. Unsubscribe. From money, people do the same thing for free stuff too. So just use your habits as a guiding principle. Wanjuru has something for you. Francesca, I've actually been thinking about TikTok because I enjoy the platform. I'm more of a Pinterest person, but you're right. Social platforms are super important.
Agreed. I think that first of all, do the one that you feel most comfortable with. So if that is TikTok and that is the platform that you're identifying with, then definitely, I see it. I'm sorry.
Listen, I'm sorry for listen, I can't hide the facial reactions. Sis said, yes, I do unsubscribe. I think I'm just sensitive. Cap, Sun, Pisces, girl. My sister is a Pisces. Let me tell you something. the Pisces are sent. Can we talk astrological signs for a minute?
Yes.
I'm a Capricorn sun too. I'm a Libra moon. So I guess that's where the balance and the diplomacy and trying to see both sides emotionally. I know it will get me in trouble, the both sides of it all. But I do see it. Oh my God. I don't know why, but I am dying over the Pisces food. I am dying. Oh my gosh, I am dead.
Yeah, definitely go with the social media platform that gets you excited to create content. The one that obviously you know the culture of that platform, so you can create the right content for that platform. That's also important. And I definitely don't think you should drop Pinterest. I see Pinterest as like, we haven't really dug into Pinterest strategy yet. I have views on Pinterest, but it's more like, okay, let's just get this pin there, and it's kind of like generic. It's a generic strategy. It's not great. But I definitely think that I would consider Pinterest at the same level as like Google traffic. Like, I don't consider that being on a social media platform. So definitely be on one platform at least. And obviously I would probably also look at which one can bring you the most RPM. So if you find something that has a high RPM that also you're comfortable putting out content,
I think just focus on what you feel good about first. Because if you're on none right now, just be consistent on one.
Yeah, you got to be consistent on one.
Don't even look at the RPM, because the RPM might tell you a platform that you don't enjoy creating content on, and then you're not consistent. So start with one where you can just be consistent, be yourself, and people can get to know you aside from, the blog and the newsletter. I don't know why I am still dying at this Pisces.
Also, the sensitivity is something you're going to have to get over all around besides unsubscribe, because when you're out here on these streets, and that doesn't mean just maybe that is something, a hurdle that you have about posting on social media, because yes, people are people. And you're still going to get that even when you have an email list and when you're just posting on your blog. Like, you're still going to get those comments where they're like, oh my God, I can't believe. So I think that just you're going to have to figure out a way that you just switch that off. If you see a negative comment, no, you didn't. Just move on. So the unsubscribes will be the same way, but you'll have to have that same tough skin for social and for your blog in general going forward. Because the more you grow, the more you're going to have those kinds of comments sometimes show up on your blog. I mean, sometimes there's people that are like leaving some comments that I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, don't engage. First of all, don't engage. But you have to build that tough skin. Otherwise, you're going to have a miserable experience creating content.
I get the butthurt feeling. I do get the butthurt feeling. I think my relationship with social media has evolved a lot because you do take it personal, because your content is personal. You created it. So I think it is separating yourself from the content. You know what I mean? So even though I created the content, I'm like, that is a content. It is its own separate entity, which is another mental thing, which is what I've realized a lot with content creation. A lot of it is mental blocks, and everything is mental. That's what either holds us back or stops us, or all the different things. So long story short, if you can do one thing, is separate yourself from the content. It's hard. It is hard. I didn't get this way overnight. I used to be butthurt if someone disagreed with me or didn't like something. But then I also told myself, and this is my mantra, so I'm sharing it with you, is the comments are not for me. Okay. That's what I tell myself. I said, the comments are not for me. It's for them and for the rest of the people who want to join. I don't reply to comments. I actually try to avoid even the good comments, because the thing is, we get so caught up in the good comments and the self-praise. So then when we get the negative, it pulls us down. So I've removed myself completely, both from the good. So I don't attach myself. If someone's like, oh my God, Victoria, that is amazing. I'm like this baseline. Okay. And since you talk astrology, maybe it's the Capricorn in me, because I also have a Capricorn rising. I have a lot of earth in my chart. I'm just consistent. I'm not like up, down, up, down, up, down. So if you don't fall into the praise, the negativity won't hurt as bad. And it's just, the comments are not for me. That's what I tell myself. The comments are not for me. Let them stay over there. The only time you respond is when it's to provide clarity to something. And if your comment is not going to provide clarity, but more chaos, you do not respond. It's like you kind of have to create these rules for yourself as you go along. But the feelings, the butthurt feelings, listen, I get it, but I think maybe because I've just been in this for so long, there's something that just turns off in my brain and I'm like, this is not for me. But you know where you can come and talk about it here? You can come to co-working and we can talk about how people are trash.
Yes.
And the person said this and that. This is why also everybody needs a group chat and a co-working community, which we hope we can be that for you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you do need to vent about that crazy person over there who said some really crazy things, because people are people. People are people. Let's just say that. People are people. That's our inside thing, People are people. Oh my gosh. Let us know. Last call, last call before the kitchen closes. This is our last call. If you have any other final questions, we're going to wrap things up for co-working today. Today is our board meeting. It's the first of the month board meeting. Next Monday, because we gather here every Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Next week, we're going to do actual working. So you will be co-working with us. We do the Pomodoro method. We work. We're here working on our computers for 15 minutes. Then we break for 10 minutes. We have a little key. If you also have questions, that's another great time. We go back in for another 15 minutes and then we break again for the final 10 minutes. So it's 2 hours. We are here working for 2 hours. Some people actually work on their day job. Some people work on their blog. Some people are studying. You can use this time to do whatever it is you want to do, but we are doing it together as a community. So we hope you'll show up next week to actually work. Again, if you have questions by that time, then you can pop them in. Otherwise, let us know also, not necessarily right now, but on our other videos on the channel, what it is that you'd like us to talk more about or touch more on, maybe for the next board meeting in March. Let us know in the comments. Replay crew, we'd love to hear from you as well. I was going to say one more thing. If you're new to blogging, check out our WordPress tutorial for beginners. We have that over there on the channel. It's free. So binge watch all of that. Check it out. If you're reviving a blog, so you don't have to be new, you can be reviving. Check that out. Fix your brand challenge. I think it will help you all big in 2026. It has been working for us. We have those videos up as well, walking you through it. You can sign up for the email so we can hold your hand a little bit more as you go through it. Or you can just download the worksheet. Do I still have the worksheet up here? Yes. Or you just get the worksheet and you can work through it on your own if you don't want that hand holding. Okay. So we have all of that there as well. So be sure to, be sure to check that out. And all right, everyone is good. Wanjuru, you are so welcome. And Tiff, I'm so happy that you love the board meeting. Again, we do this at the top of the month every month. But next week, we are going to work. So we hope you come and we can't wait to talk to you. But until then, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.